What's up, guys, and welcome to the 11th episode of On the Screws. Today is July 22nd of 2020, and it's been a while, man. We haven't been on in a minute. I think the last episode we recorded was like the beginning of July?
Yeah, like July 2nd, somewhere around there.
Well, the reason because, there really hasn't been baseball. Once the baseball season was back, there wasn't much else to talk about. There were inter-squads going on. We didn't know who was going to be on the roster. We kind of went into detail with the Astros on the Holy Toledo podcast about what we thought the roster would look like. But other than that, it was just kind of time to wait. What have you been doing, man?
Just kind of doing me, man, as much as you can do during all this. Things have gotten kind of normal, I guess. But I know we talked about this previously. Dude, I went down a UFC rabbit hole, just looking at old footage and stuff, and came to a conclusion. John Jones is no longer my favorite fighter. I got to go with Dominic Cruz. Dude's an animal. Dude's a mental game. Just crazy with the mental game in the sport. If you get a chance, you got to check him out, dude. He's insane.
Dude, so we're both big UFC fans, and
Huge.
we've watched Dominic Cruz fight plenty, and he's always been a guy. He's kind of been back and forth with injuries. Obviously, he's a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
I love his voice when he's announcing.
Oh,
stuff.
he's the best. He's the best announcer that the UFC. One of the best announcers he's ever had, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy. He's so articulate with what he says. He knows everything about the sport.
They've done a good job of bringing in guys that
job.
know. Obviously, DC. Daniel Cormier is a perfect guy to have in. Genius. Dominic Cruz, genius. Joe Rogan's a genius, but he also he's just exciting. And then
he's the voice of it.
I'm blanking on the main guy.
John Anik?
John Anik. John Anik? Yes, dude.
John
he is fantastic.
Dude, they have it's the best sports marketing that has to offer. I remember Bauer. I might have talked about this on a previous podcast, but Bauer, I remember, tweeted this during this is the 11th, so I'm guessing it's a couple UFC events ago. UFC's commitment to storytelling, new media strategies, and promotion of the individual is the best in all of sports, the gold standard. MLB should study and adapt the same principles. He's 100% right, dude. They do the best job of storytelling, promoting fighters, hyping things up. They are the gold standard of it in sports, without a doubt.
And they've done. The amount of fights that they've had go through and be successful in the past 3 weeks, dude. There have been 2 cards a week for the past 3 weeks or so, and there's nothing better than getting to watch fights multiple times a week. You hate waiting a month for a big time fight when there's all these smaller fights. I'll jump on there at 6:00 and watch all the prelims, and some of the lower level guys those fights are more exciting than the main card.
What they're doing is what baseball should have capitalized on, is taking advantage of this of the sports world during all this madness. I mean, Dana White doesn't give a shit. He's going to do whatever he wants, fight wherever he wants. If you say, no, you can't do that, he's like, oh, I'll take it somewhere else. They took advantage of it, man, and that's why they're killing it. That's why they're doing so well like they have been. So,
and their COVID precautions have been fantastic. I think they test guys multiple times before they travel to the location, then multiple times while they're there. And it's not just a nose swab. I saw videos of Jorge Masvidal getting a nose swab, a throat swab, a saliva test. Dude, he is going the extra mile just so they can't say, hey, you didn't do that right, or you're breaking some kind of guideline.
I'm all for it, man. As long as we can see sports, as long as we can see UFC. I'm just glad that it's UFC. Yeah. The fact that UFC's back or been back and baseball's coming back, dude, my 2 favorite sports, couldn't be more pleased.
And we definitely need to look more into maybe doing a live stream of some UFC reactions when we get it going again.
Absolutely, man. That'd be awesome.
But before we get going into our topic, as you can tell, we're a little rusty because I completely forgot to introduce my co-host, Drew Messiker. So it's a little late. It's right after UFC fight talk. But Drew, say hi to the guys at home, and let's just jump right into it. We're going to start previewing the division. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to preview the East Division, AL and NL. Reason why we're doing the East first, obviously, is because opening day is tomorrow, and there is a primetime game, Yankees versus Nationals, Garrett Cole versus Max Scherzer. We're not going to do the West until tomorrow because their first game is the Dodgers versus Giants. Obviously, not that exciting. What do you think about the matchup they got going tomorrow with Garrett Cole and Scherzer, though?
It's awesome. It's awesome.
That's exactly what you want. That's what you want.
Especially to open up this season where it's been so anticipated of guys just we want to get out there and play. And the fact that the two best arms in baseball are going at it can't be better than that.
Okay, real quick before we jump into the teams, if you were to pick a perfect matchup other than this one, because I'm sure this is probably at the top of your list, who would be the perfect matchup for pitchers right here? You know who? This is my choice. I think a Garrett Cole versus Justin Verlander matchup for opening day would be sick.
It'd be awesome.
Right after he leaves the Astros, man, that is money.
I'm just going to go with the two Cy Young guys because that's always exciting. I'm going to go Verlander, DeGrom. That'd be awesome.
I like that too. Yeah, it's just if you look at it, you're not going to go away from Scherzer, Cole, Verlander, Kershaw, or DeGrom. Maybe Morton. I mean, Morton's kind of proven himself again, but he's not that top line starter. Like
he's not going to bring it in. Like he's not going to bring it in like DeGrom or Verlander are. I mean, those are household names.
And obviously, we could see some. As long as Kershaw is being successful and in the league, Buehler's not going to be the ace. But I could see them start to switch once Kershaw starts to kind of drop off.
So he's the next. Yeah, he's the next for sure. Yeah, he's the next dog in for sure. He's just kind of waiting for Kershaw to, pay his dues and move on. But it's still always exciting to see a Kershaw matchup, even though it is Johnny Cueto, and that's the guy they got to run out. It's the Giants, man. They're going through this little transition period where things are going to be rough. But yeah, still, man, gotta love seeing Kershaw on opening day. It brings it back. It's starting to bring things back, man. Baseball's back.
I know.
Yes, sir.
I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready. It's just gonna, dude. It's gonna be weird. I wonder how they're gonna do the empty stadium. I remember. Was that you or Daniel that sent us the new MLB app that they're going to have where you can add crowd noise or cheer for the game?
Yeah, Daniel sent that. That's awesome. Yeah, that's such a cool aspect to it. I mean, I'm already such a fan of the cardboard cutouts. It's an interesting thing. I like that they've been advertising out in the stands. I saw John Boy tweeted out saying, wouldn't it be awesome if it will be adapted like home run markers out in the stands? That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. So you can see really how far some of these baseballs are going.
Oh yeah.
I think it'd be awesome, man. I think anything that's going to change, I mean, with the game changing the way it has been the past few years, any new little exciting thing that's going to make a 60-game season pop, which is what it should. Obviously, there's no fans. None of that's going on. So that excitement kind of escapes the stadium. Anything that you can add in there that's going to boost the life up a little bit, I'm all for.
Well, I think the A's were like one of the first teams to say you could purchase a spot for your cardboard cutout. And I think they even mentioned if your cutout gets hit by a foul ball or home run ball, they send you the ball. If they don't think of that, they should do that. That would be pretty sick. If it were me, I would put my cutout in the outfield just in case a home run hit it. I mean, foul ball would be cool, but obviously somewhere in the outfield where you think there's going to be home runs. So with the Astros, if I was putting it in Minute Maid Park, obviously Jordan's not in. Is he even in Houston right now?
I don't think so. I know him and Osuna my bad. Him and Osuna are waiting.
Osuna just got in though. I thought he just got into camp. I think Dusty Baker said he's out of shape and just not ready to go yet. But if Jordan was ready to go, my cutout would be in right field. Obviously, find a spot. I'd probably go second deck. I can see him hitting some second deck tanks this year. But right now, the Crawford boxes would fill up very quick. You got to go for those quick.
Now, is it more money to have or does it cost more to have it behind home plate? Because I know that it's $100 for a cutout. You think it'd be more money to be behind home plate because you're being seen?
Your face on camera? Yeah, I would assume so. I'm sure that's probably the way they're kind of thinking. It's not going to be crazy expensive, but they're going to try to get their money's worth.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, so let's just go with the AL East. I think that's the more exciting division out of the two East divisions, I would say. Let's start with the Yankees, man. Let's go through some roster stuff with each team and maybe some small predictions, and then we're just going to preview it. Whatever that means for us, we'll just go with it. So, are the Yankees your favorite in the East division?
No, they're actually not. They're not my favorite.
Okay. Not favorite as in you like them, but favorite as in who you think is going to win that division. Because I don't like the Yankees either, obviously.
They're not favored for me to win the division. They're not my pick. They should be my pick, but they're not. I'll get to it when we get there. But yeah, they're not my pick. They made some.
I'm assuming second place.
Yeah, for sure. They made some great acquisitions in the offseason. I'm excited to see the way they look because at the end of the day, they're still the Yankees. They're still going to put up great numbers. But yeah, not my team, not the team I picked for sure.
Yeah, they got Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
That's what they were going out for. That's what they needed.
It's all they needed.
But the only problem is they lost Severino. So Severino's hurt. Tanaka got drilled with a Giancarlo Stanton line drive, which any line drive would hurt, but his probably hurts a little bit more. So I don't know if I think he's back. I don't know if he's completely back, but after that, man, they got Hap, and then are they rolling out
Paxton?
Is Paxton hurt or what?
I don't think he is. From my understanding, I don't think he's hurt.
Why am I not seeing him on their roster?
Yeah, he's on the roster. Tanaka's not on it, obviously.
That's weird. I think it's because of I'm on Baseball Reference. They don't have it completely accurate. That rotation is something that could do something.
The bullpen's obviously the extreme powerhouse that they have going for him. Absolutely,
you're not going to have to do much work. You're not going to have to do much work when you got Cole out there. Tanaka on a good day won't have to do much work, but after that, the bullpen's going to have to pick up the slack.
And you got to think about it this way too, with Boone coming into his third season, he already kind of has a feel. He knows how to manage these guys. He knows how to work the bullpen, and he doesn't really have a lot to. It's not a challenge. It's not going to be a challenge for him to roll this bullpen out. I mean, dude, we got Zach Britton, Chad Green, Holder, Tommy Kahnle, Jonathan Lasaiga, Adam Ottavino. I mean, dude, they're Chapman. Dude, they're filled with studs.
So is Chapman cleared yet? He tested positive for COVID. That probably sets him back a little bit. So you think Zach Britton might get a couple early season saves and then transition into Chapman once he's ready to go?
Absolutely, Chapman's their guy. Absolutely, they just got to fill that role.
If it takes him a week to get back and ready, it'll take him a week to get back and ready, and then he'll be in that role no matter what. He won't have to prove himself.
Yeah, he's got it. He's got it earned for sure. Offensively, man, it's really the same. The same lineup for the most part. Obviously, they're getting Miguel Andujar back. Glaber's coming off of a masterful season, and then we got Giancarlo back in the lineup, which is fun. My biggest sleeper on this team, I guess, the guy that I think is the MVP of the team this season. I'd love to see Glaber do well, but I think Clint Frazier is going to have a really good season.
That I was just thinking, dude, he's
very good season.
He's going to be electric. Their lineup is obviously just completely stacked. They're going to hit a bunch of tanks, and they have some pretty good depth in their lineup. So I would not be surprised to see their offense kind of carry them more. Even though they got Garrett Cole, I could see their offense carrying them a little bit more than their pitching staff.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's move on to the next team. So I think the Yankees are going to be second place.
Okay.
Just because I agree. I think you think they're going to be second place too, right?
I think they're going to be in second place. Yeah.
So I just think that the next team we're about to talk about has a better rotation and about the same lineup. So Tampa Bay Rays, man. Let's just hit on the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's start with their pitching staff. Who did they go out and get? So they went out and they have Charlie Morton back for a second year.
Mm-hmm.
Glass now hopefully is healthy. Hopefully Blake Snell is not back to his new ways. Hopefully he's back to his old ways of being being a Cy Young. But other than that, who they go out? They got some bats. I don't think they got many arms.
Bat wise, I'm pretty sure Jose Martinez. Yeah, Manuel Margot, who's that's not. I'm thinking. I'm sorry, what's that?
Yoshitomo.
Sugo. Yeah.
This is his first year, right?
First year.
I don't think he played last year.
Yeah, for sure, first year.
I mean, he was a big time guy in Japan. Let's look at his stats in Japan. I think they have his stats in Japan.
Hunter Renfroe's new as well, isn't he? He was a Padre last season. Hunter Renfroe as well. Yeah.
Remember they did that weird trade? Didn't they have Franmil Reyes and trade him out?
Yeah, they did I think they did like a triple trade for him.
So in
there were
Japan,
some other guys
in the MPB. How do you say his name, man?
Let's just go with Yoshi.
Yoshi? We'll say Yoshi.
Yoshi's fine.
In 10 seasons, he batted .285 with 205 home runs, 613 RBIs. So, I
Big
mean,
bat coming through. I think
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think the thing with them, man, the reason that I have them over New York, I think the bulldog and the consistency factor is so apparent in them. I mean, they've got, in my opinion, the best bullpen in baseball.
Oh yeah,
Great starting three. They have three guys, especially if Glasnow's healthy, Morton's healthy, Snell's healthy, even Yarbrough. I mean, these guys, I can't see them. I just can't see
I
them
love
giving
their
up
bullpen.
very many series. It's an incredible bullpen. The lineup is consistent. Adding a guy like Jose Martinez is going to be huge. Adding Hunter Renfroe is going to be huge to that lineup. They're
Yep.
scrappers. They get it done. I'm just excited to see that what these guys are going to do because obviously they had a good season last year. I think that they shocked the Astros big time. I don't think the Astros expected them to do what they did.
It was that
But yeah,
staff,
it's
man. That pitching
the
staff was.
pitching's disgusting. I personally think the pitching can get them through all the way to the World Series.
Oh, dude, the rotation is one of the best in baseball. Their bullpen is one of the best. They roll out Chaz Rowe, nasty slider, Oliver Drake, the weird over the top angle, Diego Castillo, and Jose Alvarado throw cheese. Colin Poche doesn't throw hard, but he spins the ball well and he can work up in the zone. And then you got some small pieces like Nick Anderson can jump in there and blow by guys, but then that
Nick Anderson is disgusting.
Yeah, he is.
Diego Castillo is disgusting. I mean, this dude throws a 98-mile-an-hour two-seam that looks like a changeup. Unbelievable. The arms they have on this team is unbelievable.
Good velo, good arms. They spin the ball really well. That's the new age, man. Just knowing analytics and knowing where these guys work well is what's going to take their like. I wonder what these guys would do on a different team. Say they were on a different team, would they be as successful? If they're on the Astros, Yankees, or Dodgers, I would say so. But any team other than that, probably not.
Yeah, hard to tell for sure. Yeah,
they're a dangerous team, man. They're electric, and I think offensively, dude, I think Austin Meadows might just absolutely explode onto the scene this year.
They've got talent. They are sneaky great. I'll give them that way. I think they are going to surprise a lot of fans. I think they're going to come off to a hot start, and I think they're going to be a very powerful playoff team.
What about Yandy Diaz?
Yandy Diaz?
Absolute ginormous biceps.
Humongous human being. He's the guy who hit 2 home runs against the A's last season, right? In the wild card game.
Yeah, they were absolute ropes.
Yeah,
they were ropes, dude. This guy's huge.
And I think that was the only game he played in. I think he didn't play until the playoffs, if I'm pretty sure.
6'2", 215. I think he's more than 215, bro. He's got to be more than. Yeah, so 2019 AL wildcard, 2 tanks against the A's. And he did well against the Astros in the ALDS the year before that when he was with Cleveland.
Yeah.
1 for 3. He only got 3 at-bats, and he hit a double.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm pretty sure he only got a few at-bats before putting up those numbers in the wild card game. Crazy. Baseball's a crazy sport.
I think he could put up some big power numbers. You just got to figure it out.
Before we move on to the next team, I want to throw this up here because we forgot to talk about it earlier. But these are the 2019 standings in the AL East last year. Obviously, we got the Yankees up top, 103 and 59. Rays sitting right behind them at 96 and 66. Red Sox completely fell off. They were 19 games back last year at 84 and 78. And then you have the Blue Jays and the Orioles. I just want to throw it out there for you guys, so you guys can get a look at that. Just kind of get a feel of get a feel of what's going to be moving on towards the 2020 season. So
I think that that order is. I mean, obviously, we think the Rays are going to jump ahead of the Yankees, but that order is probably going to be somewhat the same. Other than, I think the Red Sox might drop down below the Blue Jays. If the Blue Jays even play, we don't know. Blue Jays don't even have a part to play in right now.
Yeah.
So,
perfect segue into our next team, I guess.
Yeah. So Toronto Blue Jays don't have a part to play in. Can they win the World Series without a home ball field? I mean, not yet, but they're talented.
Yeah.
Where are they going to? First of all, where are they going to play?
I was thinking Detroit. I don't know. I mean,
they're close. So they're close to Detroit. They're close to Pittsburgh, but which is already denied, and they're also close to Cleveland, I believe. I think that's all fairly close. But what I was hearing is that they were looking at the Buffalo AAA Stadium. Is that in New York? That's in New York. the only problem with that is they would have to update that stadium to meet the guidelines and stuff like that. So that could push them back. So I was talking to my dad about this actually. He said maybe they could have where their home games in their schedule when they have home games, they could just stay on the road and be the home team at that stadium while the other team's on the road. And switch it up. So use that stadium for a little bit for like a week for a homestand and then move on to their away series.
That's really your only option, correct? If you do not have a home stadium to play at, you really don't have any other options, especially if you can't, like you said, you can't play in Pittsburgh.
Well, dude, I can't even imagine. It's 2 days before the season starts. They have to be in panic mode.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
They might just be playing their first couple games at a little league field in downtown. I don't know where they might just find somewhere downtown to go play. Is it major league size? Oh, it's 315 to the corners. Grass isn't too good. Dirt's not too good, but we'll play the first couple games there.
And the Blue Jays are out in front in the AL East. They're just killing it. But yeah, if you're kind of in that situation where you're stuck, I mean, you have to play. If you have to be the away team or the home team at an away stadium, it's just kind of the cards you're dealt with at the moment. Everyone's going to be in panic mode, especially starting off with this shortened season. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that goes.
Well, as of now, they're going to be playing on the road all the time. Technically, doesn't matter if it's a home game for them or not. They're playing every single game on the road this year.
And I think not having fans is going to make that a little bit simpler. It's going to make it not as big of an advantage as being at home stadium in other cases. But yeah, it's still crazy. 2 days. We are 2 days away, and they still have no field.
Dude. Okay, so let's just talk. I mean, they don't know where they're going to play, but they know who their core guys are going to be. And
yes, they do.
Bo Bichette, Kevin Biggio, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. They got Yuli Gurriel's little brother, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Randall Gruchik. Is it Gruchik?
Gruchik.
Derek Fisher. This
they're
team,
pretty
and
good.
Teoscar Hernandez. I forgot they got Teoscar Hernandez. This team in 60 games could be a team that sneaks into the playoffs. My words. They're
just young. I mean, the whole roster is young. You're seeing a lot of guys, especially in the position side of it, born 1991 and above. Just a young roster. I like Trent Thornton in the bullpen. Or my bad. Yeah. I like Trent Thornton on the rotation. I like Shoemaker. He's going to give you starts. I mean, dude, they picked up Ryu. They picked a huge
They got
offseason
Nate Pearson too. That could possibly. I hope he's in the rotation. I don't know what they're thinking. Obviously,
Tanner Rourke. I mean, Anthony Bass, Chase Anderson. We're talking about guys who are.
Ken Giles had a fantastic year last year. Let's not forget about that guy, dude. Last year he went, pretty sure 53 innings, 36 hits, 83 strikeouts. And he wasn't an all-star?
No.
Oh my God, dude.
Obviously
he really screwed up his image by punching himself in the face before he left Houston.
100%. The allure to this team is obviously the three young stars they have, Biggio, Bichette, and Guerrero. It's going to be the big story, obviously, throughout the season. Like it's going to be probably for the rest of their career as long as they're all together in Toronto.
I hope they say, dude. Okay, so we limit them at those three studs, but then you got Gurriel Jr., who had a fantastic year last year too. Dude, that's
they
four
picked up
solid
Travis
guys.
Shaw. They got Joe Panik, a former Gold Glover, World Series champion.
Rowdy Tellez is
nukes.
I've seen videos of him in the inner squads hitting tanks.
Yeah, it's exciting. They're an exciting team. I think, like I said, the fact that they have these young guys that are leading, they're paving the way for the future of the Blue Jays is very exciting. Do I think they're going to be a contender in the AL East? No.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough.
I don't think the rotation's good enough yet. Once Nate Pearson gets going, if they can find a third solid guy to back him and Ryu up, they'll be good. But yeah, like you said, man,
it's young guys, no experience. They got to get through the Rays and the Yankees, which is
definitely not
tough task.
The bottom part of that.
Absolutely not
division anymore. I think that in the next couple years they could compete with the Yankees and Rays. You never know when the Red Sox are just going to pull someone out of their ass and become good again, but this year is definitely not the year. So let's go talk about the Boston Red Sox.
Let's do it.
Dude, they have a couple studs, but other than that, they are not good. I don't think they're good.
It's depressing, honestly, to look at their roster. Not a lot of big bullpen arms. Not a lot of big arms in the roster.
Nope. They lost
Christian,
Chris Sale.
yeah.
Nathan Eovaldi is got electric stuff, but he just isn't. He's not an ace.
And like you had said,
You can't get
McHugh
around
opted
it.
out, right?
McHugh opted out, so
He's
they
out.
lost a good bullpen arm, and he's a solid bullpen arm that they lost. Possibly a starting arm. I think he may have gotten some starts too.
I mean, they still have Martin Perez. He's going to eat up some innings.
Eduardo Rodriguez will be pretty good.
Eovaldi, if healthy,
yeah,
is going to put up some numbers, but for the most part, not a lot of trust there in the Red Sox.
They're missing that Chris Sale name. They're missing that electric arm.
Then really the only big news on this roster is Mitch Moreland coming back. I really don't. There's not. You have Devers, obviously, who's going to put up numbers. Yeah, you have Chavis, who's going to do well
forever now because he's not coming back after that incredible contract extension.
Yeah. By the way, Mookie Betts, 12 years or 10?
Well, it's 10 years,
350
extension, but it's total of 12 because I think it's total of 12 because of the amount of time he's going to spend with the Dodgers the last year.
And out of all the teams, he's got to wear the blue.
Yeah, he's staying there for a while. So, I mean, Verdugo is going to have to take they traded for Verdugo. So, and who they got Jeter Downs to, and who was that other guy? They got a catcher, right? Connor Wong. But Verdugo's a guy who's going to make an impact before those two guys. So, Verdugo, Bogarts, and Devers are going to have to be their top guys. You never know what Jackie Bradley's going to do. He could have a standout year.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like you said, we still have some big threatening bats in this lineup. Bogarts, Devers, Moreland at times, JD Martinez.
I forgot about JD Martinez.
Yeah, crazy, right? Pilar's going to put up some at bats. Verdugo is going to do his fair share. Bradley's going to do his fair share. Benintendi, if he's the Benintendi of recent years, he's going to be a consistent player. But do I consider them a strong contender in the East? No shot. Not this season. I don't think it's going to be the Red Sox year.
They don't have the full package like the Rays and the Yankees have.
No.
They need in today's game, and in the new. There's a lot of super teams: Astros, Dodgers, Yankees, Rays are turning into a super team. You need to have almost the full package to be able to compete, or at least get to the playoffs because you never know what's going to happen in the playoffs. But they don't have that. They just don't have the full package, man. I really think their rotation is going to struggle big time.
It's going to be rough. I think their bats will do fine, but can't win games without a pitching staff. It's going to be rough.
They're not going to be worse than the Orioles, but they're not going to be significantly better than the Orioles though either. That's my bold prediction is the Red Sox might have a pretty bad year. It's only 60 games, but they might have a really bad year.
You know, the looking over the Orioles roster, you got Iglesias who's new. Chris Davis is Chris Davis. You literally don't know what you're going to expect. Actually, dude, you're going to get strikeouts from him, but you don't know if he's might turn it on.
I wish he was back to his old self, man.
Oh. But really, when you look at the pitching, Hunter Harvey he kind of stands out. He's a former first round pick, young guy.
John Means had a fantastic year last year.
Yeah, John Means was a stud. Alice Cobb is gonna, he's gonna be the fill-in starter that he has been in the past. But other than that, man, it's really hard to tell what they're gonna be.
I mean, they have Adley Rushman,
which he won't be up this year.
He's not gonna make the roster. But this right here. We're just kind of looking into the future. Yeah, they don't really have anything that's gonna do anything big right now.
If we're going to chalk it up right now, the Baltimore Orioles will be last in the AL East. You can almost guarantee that. It's more just looking towards the future. They've got they got some good guys in their farm system.
Hopefully,
in a couple of years.
Hopefully, Trey Mancini can recover from colon cancer. Because he could be a franchise player for him.
Absolutely.
So I really hope that goes well with him. They have some young guys though that will be successful, but just not right now. I didn't realize they had Rio Ruiz. Who did the Astros trade for Rio Ruiz?
Rio Ruiz.
Or was he a Rule 5 draft guy?
I think he might have been a Rule 5 guy.
He was with the Astros. He was just blocked up by Colin Moran and Bregman.
Yep.
And then Colin Moran's with the Pirates now. So, he had a really good spring. 11 hits, 25 ABs, one tank. 3 doubles.
God, it's
So
just really rough looking at that. It's just rough looking at the roster. A lot of young guys, a lot of nobodies.
there's nobody
Besides
that's
Chris
like,
Davis
oh
and Iglesias, they
yeah.
really don't
But
have
even
anybody.
like, you know,
Pedro
Jose
Severino
Iglesias'
is
name because he's been around for a while.
yeah,
But he's not a guy that
not
just like jumps out to you.
no.
His best year, Iglesias' best year was, let's see,
I'm going to say 13, 15. Okay,
2015.
15. Yeah, 15.
You know what team it was with?
The Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He batted 300. Doesn't hit for power, but I mean, oh, he had a good year last year though with Cincinnati too. 145 hits, 288 batting average.
Like we said, the ultimate consensus was this is just looking towards the future. They're a lost cause this year. You can guarantee that they're going to finish last, possibly in the league. Who knows? But yeah, I don't see anything. Just don't see anything, man.
I don't that they're in rebuild mode.
Yeah.
They're almost out of it. The Blue Jays are closer to being out of it than the Orioles, but it'll be a couple years.
What a great feeling! Just a huge weight off your chest once you get out of that mess. Imagine the Astros when they got out of that and they went into domination mode. I mean, it's got to just be the best feeling in the world as a general manager.
The only positive of the Astros' 100-loss season struggles was cheap tickets, baby. Getting to roll up to the front row with cheap tickets, and we used to go on Wednesdays because they had dollar dogs. Do they still do dollar dogs, or they kind of past that since they're better now?
Yeah, I think one of those dollar dogs might have killed a fan, so I think they might have stopped doing them. God,
they probably recycled them throughout the weeks. They were just like, well, I mean, nobody shows up anyway, so the chances of us getting somebody sick are very slim.
What a nightmare, dude! Absolutely.
So let's just go back through the AL East real quick. Do you want to predict the records of each team?
No, not the record per se, but I can probably just line up where spots, I think where they're going to finish up. You can go first.
I'm going to go. Dude, this is going to be a crazy prediction.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the math will pan out for it, but I think the Rays and the Yankees are going to tie for first place with their regular season record. I don't know what the tiebreaker is going to be. If you want me to get bold, the tiebreaker is going to be whoever can beat up on the Orioles the most.
Yeah.
After that, I got the Blue Jays sliding in, the Red Sox, and then the Orioles. I think the Red Sox are going to be. I think there's going to be a big gap between the top 3 teams. So the Blue Jays, Rays, and Yankees, and the Red Sox and Orioles. There's going to be a big gap in win percentage right there.
Very big gap. I'd probably go the same way. I'm going to go Rays, Yankees, Blue Jays, Red Sox, Orioles. Like if we look at it last year, the Orioles were 49 games back of first place. I don't see it making any change this year. I think the Red Sox are going to be. I think the Red Sox are going to be a few games back.
So
but I see
they
the
won
Rays
84 games last year, but they lost Sale and Betts.
Yeah.
So that win amount is win percentage is going to drop completely.
Yeah. I mean, it's a year where any other year they'd be a second place team in that division. It's 84 and 78 should be a good enough record to maybe be in the top couple tiers of your division, but the Yankees and Rays just turned it on, man. I think the Rays are going to lead by maybe a game or 2 over the Yankees. They're just scrappier, man. There's something about the Rays this year that I'm excited to see. I think that's going to be an interesting 2020.
Okay, let's real quick before we go on to the NL East. Who is we're going to break up the Cy Young by division. Who is your Cy Young for the AL East, and who is your I guess Silver Slugger or hitter for the AL East?
My Cy Young for the AL East, I got to go with Cole. It's hard to argue against him.
I bet Glasnow sneaks in. And
Glasnow,
sneaks in, but Garrett Cole.
Yeah, Garrett Cole for sure.
I agree.
Silver Slugger, Gleyber Torres.
Gleyber Torres.
He's a disgusting player. Absolutely disgusting. Great fielder. Great baseball mind. Great offensively. A leader. I think he's going to be the next captain. I don't want to. It sounds like I'm hyping him up, but he's already been hyped. I think he's just going to have a good season.
Okay. My Silver Slugger, we just shit on this team, but I think Rafael Devers could put up some crazy numbers.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's going to be JD Martinez, that's tough, man. Glaber, JD, and Rafael Devers are, I think, the top 3 hitters. I mean, you have Judge, but he's not the all-around hitter that JD Martinez is.
And we forget about Bogarts too much.
We do, man. I always look over him, man. He hits for power as a shortstop.
Year in, year out, he has great seasons. I want to say he had a damn good season last year. Yeah, 309, 33 homers, 190 hits, 117 RBIs.
Damn.
I mean,
damn.
The dude's a stud.
What did Devers do last year?
Devers, I think, led the league in RBIs.
Doubles, right? RBIs and doubles?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Doubles and no, not RBIs. 54 doubles, 32 tanks, 115 RBIs, batted .311. He was
fighting for the batting crown for a little bit.
Batted
Tim Anderson
had 201 hits. He's
yeah.
He's my silver slugger. I'm not.
I might want to switch to Devers too. That's insane. I'm gonna keep Torres. I'm gonna keep Glaber. I think Glaber's gonna have a good season.
That's a solid choice too.
Yeah, both. You can't lose with both.
All right, let's jump into the NL East.
Let's
start with the reigning World Series champions, obviously, Washington Nationals. They lost Anthony Rendon. That's a big loss for them. And they really didn't make too many additions. So how do you see them panning out? How do you see this roster panning out for you?
Before we get into that, I'd like to just throw up real quick the NL East of 2019, the standings of last year. We got the Braves went out in front, led the division 97-65. Nationals behind them. Obviously, the Nationals ended up winning the World Series 93-69. The Mets 86-76. Phillies dead even at 81-81, and the Marlins 57-105. My bad. I just want to throw it out there before we start.
No, you're good. You're good. It'd be good for people to look at because a lot of people forget that even though the Nationals won the World Series, they didn't place first in the NL East. Yeah. So this team is still dangerous, but they lost Rendon. I just think that's big.
Yeah,
I think that might be too big to get them back to the World Series. I don't know. What do you think?
They're still an absolutely dangerous team. I mean, they added Thames to the lineup. They still have Howie Kendrick. Added Starlin Castro. Dude, talking about 30-year-old Starlin Castro. He's been in the league since, I think, 2010, since he was 20. Still a dangerous hitter. Gets overlooked
Kendrick,
for that.
Man.
Howie Kendrick.
If he could have the year he had last year, he could carry this team to another World Series.
Soto.
So clutch. Juan Soto.
Victor Robles, Adam Eaton. I mean, Kurt Suzuki, Yan Gomes. They obviously don't have the team they have last year, losing Rendon. But I think
rotation is still there.
It's still the best. My opinion, the best rotation in Major League Baseball. I mean, you cannot get better than Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg, and Patrick Corbin. Just an absolutely dominant
Joe Ross. Joe Ross is opting out, right?
Joe Ross is out. They added Will Harris to the bullpen. That should be interesting.
That's going to be big because their bullpen in the playoffs, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't a great bullpen last year. I don't think it was.
No, I think it was
bottom tier.
They're starting got it done for the most part.
Sean Doolittle should be back and good to go. Daniel Hudson, but they used Fernando Rodney last year and he wasn't fantastic. I don't see him on this.
He is no longer a national. I believe he's a Marlin.
Yeah, a bunch of guys went to the Marlins, but yeah, I see this team being good, and then in a 60-game season, who knows, man? Our predictions could be complete shit by the end of the season.
Yeah, so, it's really who knows. Yeah.
If it were me, my prediction is these guys are going to be second place. I think they're going to come in second place.
Okay.
You think they're coming back in first place?
No. Only because only because there's one other team in this division that's I think is a very serious contender for a championship this season.
Okay. Why don't you introduce them?
We'll roll right into it, man. I got to give it to the Atlanta Braves. I think they're my pick for the NL East.
Me too.
Good guys. They got Shane Green, solid bullpen arm. Max Fried in the rotation. You guys forget they got Cole Hamels up there. They picked up Cole Hamels.
Yep.
Sean Newcomb, Darren O'Day, Soroka, absolute stud. Your boy Josh Tomlin.
They got, dude. Damn. Chris Martin actually if we go look at Chris Martin's stats from last year, 65 Ks and 55 innings. I think he played for two different teams last year.
Mm-hmm.
ERA was mid threes, I think, but I mean, he's going to be a good guy out of the bullpen. I think
absolutely
he can rack up some strikeouts. So he'll definitely
6'8", Very tall dude. Luke Jackson's going to be their closer. They got Ulysses Chastain.
That's what they're missing. So Luke Jackson is a great arm, but I'm looking for them to okay. Didn't even think about it. I don't know why I didn't think about this guy. Also an APEC product, AJ Minner.
AJ Minner.
And dude, this guy is phenomenal. He's got electric stuff. He's shorter guy, but stocky, throws absolute gas. Four seam is incredible. And all he does is throw a four seam, a cutter, and a changeup. He was working on a slider in the offseason, really wasn't panning out, but the cutter is around low 90s. Fastball can be mid to high 90s. Changeup is disgusting when you're throwing that hard. And he just reminds me of Billy Wagner a little bit. So I really hope that he can stay healthy and be effective and possibly work into a back end role. I think it'd be perfect for him.
That'd be great. Who do you see? Obviously, I think Cole Hamels' time is on the way out. He's still a guy that's going to put up good numbers for you. Who do you see taking the lead of that rotation? There's two extremely young guys, Soroka or Max Fried. Who's going to be the bulldog? Who's going to be the number one of that rotation?
I think Max Fried is. I think his stuff plays better in the second year of his. This is both their second year of their career, right?
Max Fried, this is his third season. I'm pretty sure this is Soroka's second.
Soroka's got that nasty sinker, and it's top in baseball. But I just think guys are going to kind of figure him out a little bit. Sinker's not a bad pitch if it's a good pitch, so that's kind of confusing. But the sinker doesn't move, it's not a good pitch. It's got to have run and drop at the same time, and that's what he has. So I think it's going to be close, but I think Max Fried has just – I've heard some stories about how good his stuff is and how he's just so close to kind of putting it all together.
You know, in a day and age where we want to look at offensive numbers and pitching numbers and kind of determine players on there, we kind of shy away from probably one of the most important statistics in baseball. These guys are led by Fungo Wizard Ron Washington. This is a great defensive team, Ozzie Albies at second, Dansby Swanson at shortstop, Acuna, Enter Siniarte. By the way, new addition to the team this season, Marcelo Osuna.
Yeah.
Dude, the Bear. He's going to pull up some big numbers.
Almost got Puig.
Very close.
They just signed Matt Adams, too.
Yeah.
Big lefty bat for him. They have Charlie Culberson was just told that he's making the roster. So I'm pretty sure defensively he's been pretty good, and he can hit a little bit too.
What is the deal with Freeman? I saw something with him not too long ago. Is there something going on with him?
Well, he had COVID, but he's back and going. So
okay.
This team is dangerous, man.
Freddie Freeman. There we go. Freddie Freeman, too, as well. One of the best defensive first basemen. The team's stacked defensively. They're tagged offensively.
He opted out, right?
Yeah, he's no longer with them.
Okay.
Let's talk about a player that is – this is going to shoot forward towards our this day in baseball history at the end of the show. But talk about a guy who is so close to the Hall of Fame mark. I want to say he's less than 300 hits away from 3,000.
He's at 2,355.
355.
But that's still, dude, he's batting 288 on his career. He averages a 162 game average of 180 hits.
He's there. This
season screws everyone over for records and stuff. Albert Pujols is another guy that could use a whole season under his belt, so he's not wasting any bullets.
Isn't Kershaw close to a record too? Or he's close to
3,000 strikeouts, right?
I think 2,500. I think he's like 6 away from 2,500 or something like that. I think. I don't know. But I know there's some guys out there.
We need Jamie to fact check us.
Oh, man. We need Jamie. We need Daniel.
I'm pulling out Kershaw's stuff right now. He is only 36 strikeouts away from 2,500.
I got a 6 in there somewhere.
So he'll hit that strikeout if he keeps pitching. Yeah, he's only 31, dude.
Yeah. He's young.
Man, every time I think of him, I guess it's from playing MLB The Show, and he ages very quickly on the show. But he's only 31. I always think he's like 35, but he's not.
His appearance is nothing for me. It's the fact that the man rocks Skechers cleats. I mean, a 31-year-old. I can't. You couldn't pay me enough money from Skechers to wear Skechers cleats out in the field. I'm sorry. Couldn't do it.
So
do it.
We'll get back to the NL East, but if Kershaw were to not play anymore, is he a Hall of Famer?
Oh, 100%. First ballot.
Okay. Yeah.
First ballot. Playoffs are for me with him, the playoffs are a big concern, but first ballot, no doubt.
Yeah, playoffs hasn't been successful, but hasn't been terrible. I mean, okay, he's been bad. He's been bad in really crucial situations, but a 4.43 ERA, 170 Ks, and 158 innings. It's not. I mean, that's not bad.
We're talking about a guy who's been in the playoffs since his career started. I mean, the Dodgers have been consistent since he got in the league.
He's also given up 24 home runs in the postseason, which that's a big marker. But
to answer your question, a 100% guaranteed first ballot Hall of Famer. I'd say there's maybe 4 or 5 in the league right now who are first ballot Hall of Famers.
Verlander, Kershaw, Pujols, Miguel Cabrera.
One more.
I mean, Mike Trout.
I mean, I guess that's on the end of his career. Catcher.
Oh, Yachty.
That's it. So those are my 5.
Yeah, we're going older guys. Even though Kershaw's really not that old, I thought he was older. But yeah, so I mean, the Braves, man, their offense is ridiculous. Pitching staff isn't. It's not the Nationals. It's hard to be the Nationals.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I think their offense is just that much better, and their pitching staff is good enough to keep them in games.
Absolutely.
So
I'm excited. I'm excited. I think this is going to be a very productive team. This is a division where there's not a whole lot of competition outside of the Nationals.
No.
The Phillies might turn it on. But I think Atlanta's got this one. They're my pick.
That's my pick too. Let's talk about the Phillies, which is probably the only other competition. You never know about the Mets. We'll talk about the Mets later, but the Phillies have what it takes to compete, but they just haven't. They haven't gotten it done, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe the change in manager will help. I think getting Joe Girardi is going to be huge for him.
Knows how to manage a bullpen. Granted, he was dealing with Mariano and all these superstars in New York, but dude knows how to manage a bullpen. They've got 3 studs in their rotation. They've got Aaron Nola, Jake Arrieta, Zach Wheeler that just came over in the offseason. Vince Velasquez is going to eat up some innings for you. Zach Eflin is going to eat up some innings for you.
Pretty good too. Hector Neris is a great back end guy, closer.
Yep, absolutely.
I think they. Who was that guy? Is it Guerra? Guerra?
Can't remember. Dude, they are.
Guerra. He had a pretty good year last year. Oh no, he did not. That was before. Okay, never mind. I'm thinking of a different Guerra. He had a 22.71 ERA.
Oh man.
54 ERA, but he only had 0.2 innings.
I want to address this. How do you think Zach Wheeler is going to do? I mean, this is a guy that they picked up. They think this is the piece. They think another starting arm is a missing piece. I think he's a stud.
Everyone thinks he's the next Garrett Cole. They compare him to when he was with the Mets. When Wheeler was with the Mets, they compare that Wheeler to Cole with the Pirates. Had everything you needed, but didn't have the right coaching or right environment to really shoot him up. So I thought Aaron Nola was their stud of the rotation, but Zach Wheeler could easily turn it on.
I think the thing with him is inconsistency. He's a guy who's very good for a month and then very bad for a month. I mean, you never know what you're going to get with Zach Wheeler. I think it's a good pickup. I think that's what they were missing, honestly, was one more established starter. But dude, when you go down the line on their lineup, they're about as stacked as it gets on paper. JT Realmuto, the best catcher in baseball. Didi Gregorius at short. Reese Hoskins. Gene Segura. We're talking about the hit king, man. Gene Segura. Yeah. Jay Bruce.
Scott
Bryce
Kingery
Harper.
Too.
Adam McCutcheon. Or my bad. I'm sorry. Andrew McCutcheon. Scott Kingery. Dude, they've got studs. Studs.
Adam McCutcheon.
I think I read
Andrew McCutcheon.
Yeah, I read Adam Hazley. Yeah.
Andrew McCutcheon healthy is a solid.
I mean, it's and a great personality for baseball. I mean,
why don't I see? Do you have McCutcheon on your dude? What is going on with baseball?
Yeah,
they need to figure their shit out.
Yeah, I'm only on ESPN. Oh, my bad. The MLB roster, MLB.com.
Yeah, come on. Well, you don't have Andrew McCutcheon. They don't have Andrew McCutcheon on here. It's their 2020 roster too, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, but you know what you're getting out of Bryce.
Stacked, man.
You know what you're getting out of Bryce, which is another thing that frustrates me is
all the hate.
Hate for Bryce Harper on his last season. 35 homers, 114 RBIs, 882 OPS, 260 average, 149 hits, 98 runs, close to 100 runs scored. I mean, good.
The average doesn't matter, man.
Good.
Batting average doesn't always matter.
Got to put up numbers. I think he did a good job. I think he's going to do a very good job in 2020.
Dude, it is unfortunate that the spring training got cut off short because you want to hear his spring training stats? 8 hits and 16 ABs, batted 500. 6 of those 8 hits were extra base hits. 3 were doubles, 3 were home runs.
I mean, dude, this is also a player where, dude, this is a hot starting player. This guy's always notorious for starting off the season, hitting home runs, getting off to a hot start. Maybe this is something that just carries on. Maybe he starts hot, stays hot. I mean, like you said, 60 games. You have to put it up for 60 games.
That's another thing we've talked about on previous podcasts. We think pitchers are going to be more successful this year because hitters don't have a chance to get into that groove that they where they usually see a slump early in the season. However, there have been a lot of inter squads, so we don't know. It's just you don't know. This season is all about just guessing, honestly. And if Bryce Harper bats 260 again, as long as he's hitting 35 tanks, putting up 100 plus RBIs, he is extremely productive. I think he could walk a little bit more and strike out a little bit less, but he's still producing for a team that needed him to produce.
Didi is a guy for me that, season got cut short. He's a guy for me that I want to see him do well. I think he had his good times in New York, obviously, but he's always been the guy that's kind of been overlooked as a perennial shortstop in the league. I'd like to see him turn it on. Listen, I know he's hurting all last year with 16 home runs, 238 average, 276 OBP. That's not going to get it done. I'd like to see him turn on, and he put those numbers up in New York.
Where's he batting in their lineup? Because his home run totals have been pretty good. Really?
I know he was always 4-hole with them. He might be a 4-hole in this team too.
Because last year he was hurt, but the year before that, 27 home runs, 25 home runs, 20 home runs. But his RBI totals are only 70, 87, and 86. So
I know he has some times where he hits lower in the lineup, but for the most part, he's a 3-4 guy.
But obviously, RBIs are also dependent on the people in front of you who gets on base, your opportunities, stuff
Nothing
like that.
Nothing you can control. So
this lineup is stacked, man. They got up and down 1 through 9. I think they're definitely a better offensive team than the Nationals. The Braves against the Braves though, Phillies and Braves, I think the Braves have a slight edge in lineup.
Yeah.
But starting rotation, man, the Phillies have a chance to be better than the Braves and almost as good as the Nationals. So
yeah, I think
this team can compete.
I think it's a good team.
They will, but I think they have a chance.
It's like we say with this transition period, they got a new guy coming in. Girardi's going to be coming in. He hasn't managed since 2017. I mean, it's not going to be. It's not like he lost it, but still had managed since 2017. New feel, new vibe. Just lost Gabe Kapler, who, in my opinion, is a good players manager. It's kind of a shame that he got kicked out of Philly, but
I mean, it just wasn't working out for him.
They got the arms, they got the bats. It's just a matter of whether they figure it out, because that's the biggest problem with them. They seem to never figure it out.
I think they'll slide in third place. I think the fight for second place will be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The Nationals offensively are not better than the Phillies, but their rotations match up fairly well. Nationals have an edge, but it could be interesting to see who challenges the Braves for the title.
Yeah,
I don't think the Mets will. So sliding into the New York Mets, the Mets aren't. I don't think they're going to be able to compete with the rest of this division.
No, it's even just watching them in this summer camp, they're looking rough. I mean, they're getting their ass kicked pretty bad.
They don't have Noah Syndergaard.
No Noah Syndergaard, but
they do have DeGrom.
Yeah, it's like we said. Yeah, they got the best. Not only just the best pitcher in the National League. I think they have the arms and I think they have the bats, but they kind of fall into the same category of Philadelphia. They just need to. Things need to click, and it seems like they're a team that things just don't ever click. Pete Alonso's coming off a monster rookie season. Cano's going to be Cano.
Can he reproduce?
That's a big question. Who knows, man? I mean, Cano's going to be Cano. Jeff McNeil has been a very solid player the past couple seasons. I'm a big fan of Rosario. I think he's
They got Cespedes coming in this year.
Cespedes going to be in here.
Was he holding out last year?
I think he got hurt.
He did. Didn't he do something on his ranch to hurt himself?
I think so.
I think he hurt himself.
He's a weird dude. He's a weird dude.
JD Davis is a guy who.
JD Davis, yeah.
He snuck onto the scene. I mean, he was obviously. There's so many guys on these rosters that have been backed up on the Astros roster. So I'm glad to see him get some starting opportunities. Jake Marisnick is
Brandon Nimmo, Conforto. They're just
offense isn't bad, man.
I think what you're seeing from a lot of these teams, especially in like we've obviously only previewed the East, you're seeing a lot of consistency with the lineups, a lot of consistent bats, a lot of professionals, true professionals. But it's like I said, it's just a matter of whether things flip the switch or not, whether these teams click whenever the moment's right. Because it's not just going to be one pitcher leading your team all the way to the World Series. It's not just going to be one bat. Alonso and DeGrom can't lead this team to the World Series. It's going to be a team effort for sure. But
dude, their rotation is
it's looking nice. It's looking nice.
When healthy, they could have a rotation better than the Nationals. That might be a bold prediction, but DeGrom, Syndergaard, Stroman, Steven Matz, and then you can throw in Walker or Porcello as a 5 spot.
Seth Lugo.
Dude.
I mean, it's
like they have a really good staff, but it's unfortunate Syndergaard's hurt this year. So
yeah. I'm excited to see how they at least pan out. I'm only excited because I'm such a big Pete Alonso fan. I think he's got one of the worst social media games ever. I mean, I feel like he always has a hard time trying to get his point across, but he's a fan favorite. I mean, you got to love him. The polar bear, dude. Yeah. He's a big grizzly bear looking dude that just hits nukes. Got to love it. And then DeGrom, like you said, 2-time back-to-back Cy Young winner, the best pitcher on planet Earth. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they at least how they
just needs his offense to produce, man. It's a history of the Mets offense not producing for him. But I think Cespedes back this year, getting another year with Alonso. Jeff McNeil's gonna have a good year. Conforto's a young guy. I mean, we've mentioned all these guys. I just think, like you said, put the pieces together.
Put the pieces together.
If you don't put the pieces together, you end up like this other team, Miami Marlins.
Yes, sir. It's just got to click, man. Just got to click.
Well, I don't even know if they could click if the world was perfect.
No.
Right they don't even have. Yeah,
I meant the Mets. No way. They're clicking.
No. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, absolutely no way they're clicking.
They have some. The best guy on this team is Brian Anderson. I think, the third baseman. They had Didn't they have Starlin Castro last year? I know he's not there anymore.
Yeah, Castro was there. They got Corey Dickerson, Jonathan Villar.
I forgot.
Brian Anderson, Jesus Aguilar is up there with them.
Caleb Smith. This team just doesn't look fantastic to me. It honestly
Sandy
looks
Alcantara,
worse than
Sandy Alcantara and Brian Anderson are probably their two.
It kind of looks worse than No, you think it's worse than the?
I think it looks worse. I think
JJ Bleday should be up there in a couple years. He's from Vandy.
Mm-hmm. I'm just to me they're the Orioles of the National League East. Obviously, they're a future team. I mean, Jeter is. For those who have no idea, I mean, Derek Jeter, the owner of the team, kind of traded guys away, got rid of some pieces, got rid of Stanton, got rid of Yelich. Is kind of in the idea of just rebuilding this team back to what they, used to be. I mean, we're talking about a team that won.
Did he do a very good job of trading and stuff?
I don't have it in front of me, so I can't really vouch as to what guys he gave up. But I mean, dude, it's kind of hard to sit there with guys like Stanton and guys like Yelich and expect them to shine in Miami, especially when the team's losing 100 games a season. It's very hard to expect those guys to. I mean, Stanton won the MVP there, had a monster season when he did, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard to stay and it's hard to stay there. It's hard to stay there and get the love and attention that you should get.
I actually want to. So yeah, like you said, man, they had some good pieces several years ago.
Mm-hmm.
This is a topic for another episode. Honestly, this could be its own episode. But in 2014 to 2016, at some point they had who do they have on their roster? Let's see. They had Stanton, Yelich, Jose Fernandez. Who else? I'm missing some guys.
I don't want to cut you off. I'm sorry, but something I'm thinking about with them that's constantly in my head. What is Don Mattingly doing there?
I don't know.
What is he doing there?
He didn't fit there.
Why is he there? Honestly, what is the reasoning? I wonder what the reasoning is for him staying there. I mean, he's been there since he left LA. He's been there since 2016. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, got it.
What is he there for? Yeah.
At one point, this is 2015 roster, but there's lots of transactions that happened between us. This was their rotation, right? Or this was their lineup. Catching, JT Realmuto.
Mm.
First base, Justin Bour. Second base, D. Gordon in prime. Prime D. Gordon, 205 hits a season, D. Gordon. Danny Echeverria at shortstop. Martin Prado at third. Yelich, Ozuna, Marcell Ozuna, and Giancarlo Stanton in the outfield. And then it had Ichiro, Derek Dietrich, Mike Morse, Miguel Rojas, and on the bench. And then their rotation was disgusting. They had Jose Fernandez, Henderson Alvarez when he was having some good years, AJ Ramos in the pen, Cishek in the pen, Brad Hand before he kind of blew up into the stud in the pen. How did they not win? They won 74 games that year, 71 games that year.
I want to point any not even just a fan of our podcast, but any baseball fan in general to a very specific video on YouTube about the fall of the Marlins. One of the better sports I guess mini documentaries, whatever you want to call it, that I've seen. It's called How the Marlins Accidentally Won Another World Series in the Middle of Falling Apart. This is a team, dude, that won 2 World Series in the span of 6 years, and both times they won, they separated completely, got rid of the team. That has to do with a lot of ownership, problems with contracts. Obviously, that's going to happen. You're going to have those faults, but I'd like to see the Marlins go back to that because they're still a young team. I mean, they're one of, I think, 5 teams that have won 2 championships in the past 30 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Which is crazy.
To think about that.
It's crazy
they
to
haven't
think
been to
about.
the playoffs since 2003 when they won the World Series.
I know.
So.
I mean, I'd like to see them. I mean, obviously, this is the same situation as Baltimore. They're looking towards the future, so they're really just playing at this point. They're really just playing.
They got Jeter as their top man now. Completely different uniforms, which I love the old uniforms, and I like the new uniforms too.
Oh, hold up! You like the old ones as in the ones before this?
Yes, dude. The pinstripe Florida Marlin jersey.
Oh, no. Okay. Yes.
Oh,
those were beautiful. I thought you meant the ones they had just before this. I was like with the orange and all that stuff.
Oh, no. I kind of like.
Oh, no. I hated that.
I like the where is it? Do they have like a blue one now? They have like a.
Oh no, that one looks good. But the
black one's good too.
Yeah, the black one's nice.
The all orange.
I'll be honest. No. I'll be honest. Listen, the scheme that they're going for, because they changed the stadium too. They got rid of the ugly ass tower out there. They're rebranding the whole team, making it a blue. It's disgusting.
Nobody can hit it now. So once Stanton's gone, there was no point.
Yeah, there's no point.
Nobody can hit it out there.
Yeah, they're rebranding as this light, like this teal blue color team. I don't know, dude. I would like to see, for me, the only thing that really keeps my attention with the Marlins is what's Jeter going to do? I mean, what's the next move? What is their move going forward? Because they're not going to go out and get anybody. Obviously, they're not going to be that team. It's never going to happen.
They're the Astros all over again, man.
But they're the Astros that have suffered longer. They're a longer suffering Astros, without a doubt. They are,
because they've kind of sat in the past, man. They haven't really jumped. Like the Astros were struggling, but while they're struggling, they were formulating their way back to the top. Marlins kind of went down and stayed down, even though the Astros were at the bottom at one point. Behind the scenes was everything shooting straight up.
Yeah.
So this team is last place for sure.
They're
my last place.
Without a doubt. So I guess you want to kind of roll through who you have in the standings, I guess, for this year?
Yeah, so I'll go, man. Braves first place.
Mm-hmm. I'll agree.
Nationals second place. Phillies third. Mm-hmm. Mets fourth. And Marlins. I think
that's me too.
I think it's just like the AL East, that gap between the Phillies, Marlins, and Nationals could be pretty wide between the Mets. If the Mets can click, though, they're in that mix.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I think the Phillies and Nationals will be the team to fight for second place.
Absolutely. With this division, that's all it is, man. It's just whether these teams are going to click or not. I think it's the Braves division, but at the same time, it's the Braves division to lose. I mean, they've got the 60 Nationals games, right behind them.
All it takes is one team to click for 60 games, and it could be anybody. If they click for 60 games, they're in the playoffs. And then, like anybody in the playoffs, anything could happen. The Marlins could click for 60 games and make the playoffs, and possibly it's not going to happen. Be crazy.
That would be incredible for baseball. I can't. I'm serious. That would be incredible for baseball
Dude,
if they could do that.
we would have to eat our words, man. After just talking shit about him. Like if it was like if all the teams
September's
we've just
coming
talked
around.
shit about have been like
Yeah.
say the Red Sox are successful, the Orioles are successful, and let's say all the teams we're gonna talk shit about coming up soon, and they're successful, we're off air. We're not gonna be on
We're
air.
done.
Hot
We're
takes are
canceled.
over.
We're done. I guess we can segue right into this day in baseball history.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, though, we agree we're going to be doing the Central.
We'll do these. Are we doing the Central and the West?
We'll do
two
the
different segments.
Yeah, we'll do the Central and the West. 2 different segments. Yeah, that sounds good. Obviously, because the first 2 games of the season are going to be with West teams, or with a West and a East team.
Yeah, the first 2 games were one primetime game, which we all want to watch, and another primetime game that nobody wants to watch. So
that I could watch.
I'm glad that we did.
Yeah,
I'm glad that we did the East first. Honestly, I might just switch over and watch Kershaw's innings, and then switch back and watch the rest of. Or actually, are they at the same time?
Oh my God,
they're going to be different times.
Yeah, I was just thinking about too.
That's West Coast.
I was just thinking about too. I can't wait for the first time we can watch Quick Pitch. That's my show. That's my show.
I need to figure out how to watch it, man, because I don't have cable. All I got is internet. I don't watch cable, so I got to figure out how to watch it.
Do you have cable information?
Oh, yeah, I can do it on my laptop.
MLB Network. Yep, there you go. You're done.
MLB Network. I also can't wait for the first time somebody purposely drills an Astro player.
It's not going to go over well.
It's not going to go over well, and I don't want guys to get hurt. But if you're going to give us free bags, give us free bags by all means. Just let it. Just, I'm sure if it happens so much, guys are going to start getting pissed off about it. Yeah. But if you're giving free runs to the Astros, you're making a big mistake. Doesn't matter. Same okay, why aren't the Yankees opening up the sign stealing letter? That's another story. But if it was the Yankees in this situation, or the Dodgers, or who's another incredible team, Braves, any of these teams, if it's the same thing though, if you were to peg the whole Dodgers team, or you were to go after the Dodgers, they're going to beat your ass because they are a better team than you.
Absolutely. I think
you don't give them free runs.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. No players has been outspoken like they were when this stuff first started happening, but God, I don't have the schedule in front of me at the moment, but let me have Mike Clevenger run it at one of the boys and take that hippie out, man. Could not wait to see that.
Oh, yeah, that's one guy. I know you don't like Marcus Stroman too much, but
I'll take Stroman too.
I think my least favorite player is probably Clevenger.
He's one of them. It goes probably for me, Stroman's at the very bottom, Clevenger's at the bottom too.
It used to be Harper because I just thought he was
good for baseball
mess, but Harper's a stud, man. I don't understand the hate. So, okay, let's go back in. I know we got off topic. Let's go into this day in baseball. I know you got it pulled up right now, so just run it through.
Let's do it, man. So July 22nd, 1923, at Cleveland's Dunn Field, Walter Johnson fans the Tribe's Stan Kovaleski to become the first pitcher in Major League history to strike out 3,000 batters. The Senators' legends milestone remains unmatched until Cardinals right-hander Bob Gibson reaches the plateau in 1974. So we talked about this before we got on. I guess at the beginning of the podcast, we had kind of mentioned it briefly. The 3,000 strikeout number. It's the number that it's the same with 3,000 hits, 500 home runs.
Automatic lock.
It should be the automatic lock for the Hall of Fame. It, at recent years past, guys have been getting in with less than that number. For
it's hard to get 3,000 strikeouts means you got to pitch a lot of games. So back then, they pitched all the time. They went ridiculous amount of innings, but now it's more about how many years can you pitch. And 3,000 strikeouts is incredible. And he did it throwing 88, 91, something like that.
Probably.
Everyone thinks Walter Johnson threw gas, but they did several studies on those old school guys, and they didn't. Now
I can definitely say with the fact that Bob Gibson was throwing that son of a bitch in there about 104.
Oh yes, but when we're going back into the 20s and 30s and earlier than that, those guys aren't throwing hard. And
no.
Older baseball fans are probably like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe I don't, but
listen, we can respect.
You're telling me Babe Ruth could get in the box against Garrett Cole
No.
and do something against them?
No, listen, absolutely not. We can respect them for the players they were. I'm never going to sit here and talk anything about Joe DiMaggio or Mickey Mantle or any of these guys. The guys are legends.
Yeah.
They're without a doubt some of the best baseball players that ever lived, but they played in a different era. You can't sit here and tell me that these guys are going to come into this era and face the pitching they're facing or the competition they're facing and be the same player. Maybe there's some exceptions, but for the most part, you're not going to get it.
People's athletic ability, just sports in general, they adapt and they change over time. You're telling me that old school white dudes playing basketball in the 20s and 30s could compete against LeBron James? Dude, that would be a shit show.
Yeah.
A team full of LeBron James, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, just top NBA guys going against a team of shitty white dudes from the 20s. You're telling me that they're not going to compete.
I mean, I think no shot. I kind of want to go back. I want to keep the shine on Walter Johnson, I guess, to finish this out. The dude was a strikeout king.
Yeah.
I think he had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, if I didn't just mess up that count. 13 seasons where he led the league in strikeouts. He's also the all-time shutout leader with career shutouts with 110. That's never going to get broken.
No.
They'll never get broken, not even close. The guy also would win 36, 28, 27, 25, and 23 games a season. Like we said.
How many starts was he getting a year?
Between the range of 30 and 40. 30 and 40 a year, which is not crazy. But which is not crazy. I mean, Verlander last season had, I think, 36 starts. Their guys are still putting up those numbers, but they're not winning 36 out of 36 no more.
At age 36, he put up 38 starts and then put up 29 at 37 and then 33 at 38. And then dropped off at his 39-year season or his 39A season with 15 starts.
This for a quick second was a very weird one for me until I saw how many games he played. I'm just thinking in terms of modern day starters. I just saw 30 for 1913, 36 and 7, but he started 36 games. I was like, how is that possible? And then I saw that he threw in 48 total, so that cleared it up a little bit. But
okay, damn, he relieved a lot of games too. Holy shit.
Yeah, they were guys they would just go. Are you good? Go. Like there was no, oh, we're gonna be sure of your arm, check all this stuff. It was just go. You ready? Okay, let's go. I mean,
he didn't have a great strikeout ratio, man. He only had 5.3 Ks per 9. So that just proves to you wasn't throwing gas.
No.
I think who do you think was the first person? I mean, he was. He didn't give up
for sure.
For the amount of innings he had. He pitched a lot of innings, so obviously he's going to give up more hits. But his hit per 9 was 7.5 per 9, which is, I mean, that's pretty good for a starter.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was dominant, but didn't strike out a lot of guys. Who was the first guy? I really want to do some research on this. The first guy to come into the league to just blow a fastball by somebody, and they're like, wait a second. I faced Walter Johnson. He wasn't throwing this hard. Like, what is this?
I mean, we're celebrating the 100th year of Negro Leagues. Satchel Paige.
Yeah.
That's a guy, maybe that's another guy that comes into mind that was unanimously one of the hardest throwers that's ever lived, was known for it. Also pitched, I think, 40 seasons or something crazy like that.
Oh, yeah, there's a YouTube video of him talking about how he pitched. Man, they don't have his full career stats. They only have when he started pitching in the major leagues. In the MLB, or I guess that would be it was the MLB after his stint before that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he had a decent amount of strikeouts, but yeah, he wasn't. It's not what you see now.
No.
So,
no.
Congrats to Walter Johnson for setting the bar for a lot of people, but the bar has been completely broken.
Shattered.
I know.
Thanks, Clemens. Thanks, guys.
So, all right. Well, let's close this one out. We should be back on to do the Central preview, West preview, and then we're probably going to do a pregame preview of the Astros on our Holy Toledo segment. So be on the lookout for that stuff. I know it's been a while since we posted, but just watch out. You know, we never know when we're going to throw something up there. And we hope you'll tune into the next episodes.
Peace.
See ya.